So yeah, so I was talking about Shreyas Iyer.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is Shreyas Iyer is the best buy for Kolkata because you are getting a captain who is
Captain, yeah,
27 years old. He
just for 12 crores.
Right, just for 12 crores, and not only, mind you, we are. I won't be very concerned about the value because here
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about an investment in Shreyas Iyer. If everything goes all right for the next 10 years, much like what CSK did for Dhoni, picked him up at
Dhoni and
27,
yeah,
28 years old. So I would say that's a fantastic buy. Pat Cummins is a
totally agree.
good buy. Pat Cummins, I would say, is a good buy at 7.25, primarily because of
Yeah,
how.
because anyway, the teams are looking for, as you said, the pace all rounders. The
Right. I think
both.
if you see analogous bowlers in the auction, you have
Mm-hmm.
Trent Bolt, you have Lockie Ferguson, you have Kagiso Rabada. All of them were more expensive than Cummins. More importantly, Cummins comes with his batting ability, and which makes him a good
True.
candidate at number 8. So
Yes.
I think getting Cummins was a good buy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so these are two good buys. Now, regarding the rest of the auction for
Yeah.
Kolkata, I think it was a bit patchy. So they have assimilated, I would say, what would say, a decent squad, half
Decent
decent
squad,
squad on paper, but the balance is
but
somewhere missing.
that too at the end of the auction, like right at the very end, they picked up like Mohammad Nabi and who else it picked. At the very
Umesh
end, they
Yadav.
picked some Umesh Yadav.
Mohammad
Yeah,
Nabi and Umesh
Umesh Yadav.
Yadav.
So
So you see this squad, there is something that stands out immediately. Okay, out of the 10 teams, you see there is something that stands out for Kolkata immediately.
I think it is
You
wicket
have,
keeper.
yes, wicketkeeper I'm going to address when I'm going to get
Mhm.
to the playing 11. But what stands out immediately is three Indian batters: Shreyas Iyer, Venkatesh Iyer, and Ajinkya Rahane.
Yes, yes. While like
So,
while I was trying to make my own 11, I was even
hmm,
stuck there as well. Like, yeah,
right,
whom do you
right,
pick?
right. So this is, I would say, a fantastic thing to have a solid Indian core, and
Mm-hmm.
Ajinkya Rahane, for whatever slump he is going through, for whatever other form he is going through, makes my playing 11. Uh, if you get to the on the wicketkeeper point of view, uh, I think they just miscalculated Puran a bit because they were relying a lot on getting Nicholas Puran at a
They
cheaper
went,
price.
yeah, they went too far with Puran. I was like, at that moment, how will you afford Puran for 10 crores when you have 17 crores in your bag, and that too you have only 8 players in the squad. Like you have to pick another 8 players for the balance 7 crores.
Right,
So
right,
you need to pick
absolutely,
a. Thank God they
absolutely. It was
Nicholas
scary.
Puran didn't get.
It was scary, but I can understand why KKR went for Puran till that far. Russell's form last season as well as the season before it was a bit patchy. So they wanted somebody at that position at 5-6 to pair up with Russell to carry out the finishing duties, finishing, let's say, flourish. So that's why they went for Puran. So that's why wicketkeeper in this KKR squad looks more of an afterthought for me, because Sam Billings is a good player, solid player, but Sam Billings, Sheldon Jackson, on a good day, I won't have either of them on my playing 11. I
Wicket keeper could be a problem, but Alex Hills does wicket keeping, and also I think Nitish Rana also does wicket keeping. Does he?
Nitish Rana is more, I would say, more of an amateur keeper, but Alex Hales, I have
Hmm.
seen him keeping. I think he keeps in the PSL.
Okay.
So I would be confident of Alex Hale's abilities as a keeper, and
Hmm.
I think if Alex Hales can keep, uh,
Hmm.
the balance of the KKR squad becomes better. Because then you can play Alex Hales, Pat Cummins, and Andre Russell. So you
Okay,
can
then let
play
us
all three.
go straight to the squad. The playing
Right,
11.
right,
So who is
right.
your number one? Who is the one at number one?
So
Who
I
did you
would
call?
have Venkatesh Iyer and Alex Hales as my openers,
All
and
right, so
Alex
Venkatesh
Hales,
Iyer,
uh, right, will be my wicket keeper.
wicketkeeper. Okay, great.
Right. Then I'll have Rahane at 3.
I think
So
Rahane at 3.
right,
Yeah,
and
given
then
his recent, I think he scored a century in the Ranji Trophy.
right. He scored a
And I think
century in Ranji
we
Trophy.
are a bit too harsh with Rahane overall for in terms of Indian cricket.
Absolutely.
So
I
he should get a
huh,
place,
huh,
at least
huh, huh.
for
And
the initial matches.
specifically in IPL, I would say Rahane makes the cut any day.
Any
So,
day, yes.
so there is no doubt about it. With such a solid, rich Indian experience, you have to have him in the playing 11. Number 4, I would have Shreyas Iyer.
Okay. And
Uh,
he's, oh, of course, he's a captain. He's already
he's the captain. Then
decided
you
that he will
have
be the captain.
at number 5, you have Nitish Rana. So Nitish
Yes.
Rana,
So
I was not very happy for of KKR spending that much on
to
Nitish Rana.
yes.
But to be very honest, I would say again, because the 10 team dynamics, you see players like Nitish Rana, Rahul Tewatia, those are the kinds of players who earn the premium. Like Nitish Rana, I would say now at so after Nitish Rana, I have
Mhm.
a bit of a debatable choice because I don't have Sunil Narayan in my playing 11. So Sunil Narayan is the, let's say, the blue-eyed boy of KKR. But okay, so I'd finish my playing 11, and then I would explain why Sunil having Sunil Narayan is a squad in the squad is a bit of an anomaly, provided how KKR picked their squad. So I have Mohammad Nabi at 6
Yeah. I'll go to Mohammad Nabi at 6.
and
Okay.
Russell at
So
7.
if so, I feel if KKR feels there is a place for like Sunil Narain might be an alternative of Mohammad Nabi.
Right.
Do you
In
think?
fact, I am more or less sure that Narayan will be starting in the playing 11 for KKR. But I'll tell you what happens if Narayan comes in. So you have Andre Russell at 7, right? Of course,
Okay.
Andre
Okay.
Russell at
Let us go
7.
to number
Uh,
7. Number 8
then you have
is Pat
Cummins,
Cummins.
Pat Cummins at 8. And then you
Shivam
have
Abi, you have to pick because you went how far? Like
there is no
7
other
crores.
Indian pacer. Right. As I said, and then you have Umesh Yadav. Right. And
And
finally, you
Varun
have Varun
Chakravarti.
Chakravarti. So see, the problem is the moment. So here you have Mohammad Nabi and Andre Russell as your finishers. I think
Okay.
Nabi is having a very good
Better.
PSL. Uh,
Okay.
Nabi is better with the bat, but the
Mhm.
moment you replace Nabi with Narayan, you have to put Russell at 6, and then Narayan comes at 7, and then you
And
have
there is
Cummins
a
at 8.
uncertainty as well with Narin's batting. You
Right.
never know because you can rely more on Nabi than Narin regarding batting.
Right. Nabi is a very solid batter. I think he is one of the best bargain buys of KKR in the auction. But now look, once we have this playing 11, what happens? So in the top six, right?
Hmm.
So in the top six, you have Venkatesh Iyer and Mohammad Nabi. So
Okay.
Venkatesh Iyer is your regular 2 to 3 over bowler in
Yes,
a
I
T20
in the
match.
comments, Royston, my friend from my previous company, he's pointed out Venkatesh Iyer helps as a sixth bowler, and it's right.
Absolutely
He can
right.
give you like 2 3 easily, 2 3 overs. He can easily give you, and
Absolutely.
also he can take wickets, like we saw in the
Exactly.
last
So
game in
he's
against
a
West
golden
Indies.
arm. In fact, he bowled. I was very impressed with his bowling in the first season. To be very honest. So
I mean, the first, like the previous season, half of the season, we were like KKR is nowhere making the playoffs, and then
mhm.
Venkatesh Iyer comes in and the entire scenario
Right.
changes.
Absolutely. So I would. So in this 11, you see, Iyer gives you 2 3 overs. You have a
Hmm.
wicket keeper in your top six. That is Alex Hales, and then you have Mohammad Nabi. So Mohammad Nabi gives you 4 overs every day, every match, right? Mohammad Nabi gives you 4 overs, 0 for 24. That's his worst performance that he can give. So you
And also,
have
he'll contribute with the bat.
absolutely. So you have 6 overs as well
Hmm.
as a wicket keeper in your top six, and you have 5 other bowlers, five including Andre Russell. So what I am trying to come to is you have to have 4 overs between Russell, Nabi, and Venkatesh Iyer. So that is a lot of redundancy. So you have around 7 bowlers in your playing 11. You have
Mm-hmm.
batting up in Pat Cummins, that is number 8.
Okay.
So that is providing you a good batting depth, as
Mm-hmm.
well as it is providing you bowling depth in terms of as much as 7 bowling options. People talk about 6 full time bowling options getting into the T20 game. So this is more than redundancy for KKR. The problem is,
Well, there are 8 bowling options in this squad. I mean, Nitish Rana. Why are we missing him?
Nitish Rana, of course. Nitish Rana on a good day will pitch in with his off spinners. So this is more. I would say a very balanced KKR squad. But
I mean, a
yes,
reliable team based on what the squad they have picked is. But
mm,
my question here is, what, like, are you looking for any? Do we have any good replacements at KKR? Like, if
uh,
Umesh Yadav doesn't perform, whom
right, right,
are you looking at?
right. See, there is
I mean,
one
once
lad
again.
I'm pretty impressed about in KKR, who is
Mhm.
in KKR this season. That is Rasik Salam from
Okay.
Kashmir.
Okay. Yeah.
So Rasik Salam is a good player. He had his issues with some unfortunate incidents. Not getting into that, but he is returning to the fold. He is practicing. He can bowl fast. So this is one player I am really looking at, considering how KKR has built Shivam Mavi and Nagarkoti over the last 3-4 years. Rasik
Okay.
Salam from Kashmir is somebody I'm really looking at.
He has
In
very
terms
good pace. I mean,
Right, right, right. In terms of replacements, of course, they have got Tim Saudi to replace Pat Cummins. In fact, Pat Cummins does not come till the first or second week of IPL. So Tim Saudi will be his backup.
okay.
Uh, there is one more underrated good player, I would say, who can serve as a backup of Russell. That is Chamika Karunaratne of Sri Lanka. So
Okay.
he's a decent all rounder, I would say. He would not give you 4 overs every match. He would
Mm-hmm.
maybe give you an over here, or maybe on a good day a couple of overs. But at least we have a backup of Russell here. So that
Okay.
way I would say it is good.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
backup of Russell, I think with Karunaratne it is manageable. KKR can definitely manage.
Right, right, right. And in fact, there is one more player I would be really looking at, who has fallen a bit off the radar, but
Mm-hmm.
Anukul Roy is somebody who is a very
Okay.
economical
Yes.
bowler. He is a left arm spinner, bowls very much. His bowling is very much like Aksar Patel, Ravindra
Okay.
Jadeja. Bowls to the stumps, accurate, will give you, let's say, 4 overs almost every match. He'll hardly take the tonking from the batsman. So
Mm-hmm.
there are some promising ones in the KKR squad,
So
but
you are saying,
Mhm.
against DC there is a good chance Anukul Roy is playing, because they have, like, how many left-handers in their team, or does that change now?
That changes. That we would get to know once we get to the squad
DC.
of
Yeah.
DC.
Mm-hmm.
I would, what I can recollect is there are, as of now, you have, on the top of the mind, two left-handers. Obviously, you have David Warner and Rishabh Pant coming in. But in this playing 11 of Kolkata that I gave, as well as in the squad,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there is only one problem that I would find out, that I would have, that is the death bowling. Death bowling
Let's
is
bowl them.
something
Okay.
that is an issue. They have relied on Sunil Narain and Varun Chakravarti in the second half of the last season to
Mm-hmm.
deliver their death bowling skills. But in this squad, we don't have Sunil Narain. So then maybe Shivam Mavi needs to step up. Let's say
I mean, the
whom
squad that we picked, but we will have to look at KKR, what they
Right, right,
face,
right.
what they feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would feel that if they go with Sunil Narain, they may have to replace Umesh Yadav with Rinku Singh, who will be a floater for cases where, so it's an extra batsman. So
Mm-hmm.
Rinku Singh is somebody who KKR has rated highly. We are yet to see his performances on the field, but I
Well,
would say,
he again got a century recently, very recently in the Ranji matches.
right. I feel Rinku Singh is a decent player who can play in that 100-120 strike rate. He is.
Okay,
I
yes.
I would I would find him his technique very difficult if we take him as a finisher. coming in.
Definitely, definitely. He doesn't
Uh,
definitely fit into the finisher schools, I would
right,
feel.
right, 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 right.
All right. So
Mm.
can we move to the next team? Which one do